We're looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Phelps. I live in a small town in Western New York.
My name is Whitfield Felix, and I'm the Assistant Director in the Student Success Center.
My name is Layal, and I live in Maryland, about 15 minutes outside of DC.
Hi, I'm Shannon Curran, and during September 11th, 2001, I was at home in St. Louis, Missouri.
During September 11th, I was at, my mother and I were out running errands, and I was a homeschooler, so I wasn't affected in the school system at all, but we got news that something was up while we were out shopping, and we didn't know what it was, but we drove home right away, and we went inside and turned on the TV, and on every station we could see the devastation that had happened.
1,000 eyes were drawn to come.
I woke up and I couldn't figure out where my mom was, so I went upstairs and I saw her that she was watching the TV and she was crying, and I was upset because my mom was crying. So I asked her mom what was going on, and I looked at the TV and you could watch the news and you saw that there were planes crashing into the Twin Towers.
On September 11th, I was in 4th grade. That day I remember the teacher left the classroom. I go to private school, so they came back in and they prayed with us, but they didn't tell us what happened. And one of my really close friends, they took her outside because her mom worked at the Pentagon, and they told her what happened, and she came back in. I just remember she was crying.
On September 11th, 2001, I was working and living in New York City when the towers fell. I remember that morning very well. It was a Tuesday morning, and I was about to conduct an academic workshop on one of the floors on the campus where I worked rather. Someone came into the room and said to us that one of the Twin Towers is on fire. I followed suit, wanted to see flames emanating from one of the buildings, and there was just consternation all over the place, and the students were worrying and crying, just amazed at what was happening.
So many people scarred.
I remember the days after with our fire department honoring them. It affected everyone in my community, and we were completely on the other side of the state, but we still felt their pain like they were our neighbors.
Within 10 or 15 minutes, probably all our parents had come and picked us up. And I remember my dad telling me what had happened, and because we were so close to DC, everyone was scared that another attack was going to happen, and we didn't know if it was going to affect us because we were so close to it.
We were there just looking up at the buildings as it was being caught on fire, and I noticed people were just leaping from the buildings to the sudden deaths, those hundreds of feet below. I lost some great friends of mine. One was a firefighter whose truck went in first. His group of guys went in first, and he never came back out. And I remember when that second building imploded. Even now, just thinking about it brings back just sad memories.
Again, like how it's changed our country so much. We're really strict with like airport security, and there's a lot of hatred towards Muslims, and it's just a really different situation now because you wouldn't think any differently of people who would wear headdresses, and now we're really just judgmental.
All the families left with broken hearts now.
Debris, piles of dirt, areas cordoned off. We couldn't get into ground zero as we know it now. It was a very difficult time. I saw on that day pregnant women walking miles over bridges to get to Brooklyn and Queens and the neighboring areas because there were no trains running, no transportation, everything was just shut down.
One more
neighbors that lived across the street from me, they were Muslim, and we were friends and we played all the time together. And I wasn't allowed to play with them for that day or for a couple of weeks after that because their parents thought that we were going to accuse them and be upset with them, and they actually stayed in their house for weeks because they didn't want to be accused.
falling from a New York.
It's one thing to look at the news and actually see what is happening, but it's a different thing altogether to be actually physically there and to experience it. But it showed what New Yorkers can do. They came together, they gelled, they prayed, they held hands, they went to churches, and they bonded their faith together to bring the city back to what it is today. So 9/11 will forever be imprinted on my mind, indelibly so, because I will never forget the day and the days and the weeks and the months following. Thank you.